Hey, sister. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Sarita J, and this is story time. Okay, so I needed to come and do a video because I realized that last video I did, which was Mindful Monday, which was a long time ago, it seemed like I jumped straight out the gate. I literally jumped straight out the gate and just was like, you know what? I need to do this video. Let me do this video and let me get it over with. Not let me get it over with, but let me do this video, right? So I did it. And I felt great after I did it, but I didn't do any more videos. And so this is my time to really let y'all know who I am, what's going on, what happened. Well, I only posted one video and what I need to be doing in the future, okay? So I have been in this back and forth. First of all, I'm a Christian, okay? So first of all, let's just get it out the way. I'm very churchy, so I'm probably going to say a whole lot of churchy stuff. But anyway, so I have been back and forth in prayer about this YouTube channel. Believe it or not. Back and forth about this YouTube channel. Now, the crazy thing is, I've never had a YouTube channel before, but I did have a podcast before. And I mean, I did it and then I stopped, and then I did it and then I stopped. And at that particular time in my life, I was married. And so things were happening. So it literally would seem like every single time I would not try to, but every single time I started my podcast, something would happen in my marriage that would emotionally knock me out. And I couldn't get back to it. I never made it to 10 episodes, right? I never made it to 10 episodes. I would get to 5. And I would start, it was every year from, I want to say about 2018, 2019, every year, all the way up until probably 2022. I was starting and stopping a podcast, starting and stopping. And here's the thing, I didn't want to do the podcast either. When I was a part of a discipleship class and we were learning about spiritual gifts and who God called us to be and all that, I remember so clearly God speaking to me and telling me that he wanted me to do a podcast. And I was like, I don't want to do no podcast. I'm a writer, so I can definitely write. I'm a playwright. I can do all that, poetry, all that. I can do all that in the background. I can create a blog. Nobody ever has to hear my voice. He's like, no, you need to do a podcast. And so I chucked it up and I started doing the podcast. Well, actually, it took a little bit of time because I didn't even know what the podcast was going to be called, first of all. I didn't know the name of it or anything or what it was going to be called. And I remember driving to work one day and getting a full download of what it was going to be called and what it was for and all that. So I started doing the podcast. And then when my baby sister was living, we started a podcast together. And it kind of made me feel like this is a little bit of an escape from what I was actually supposed to do. And me and her started doing, which was fun and crazy and all that. And I remember my friend telling me, I know you're doing it with your sister, and I know that you're having fun with your sister, but that's not what God told you to do. And I was like, girl, shut up, because nobody asked you. Didn't nobody ask you to come over here and pull me out of my comfort zone? Nobody asked you to do that. But she did. And me and my sister, we kind of dissolved our podcast, if you will. And she's passed on now, so I don't even listen to it. It's hard to hear. It's still hard for me to hear her voice, even though I know she's not here anymore. So anyway, I got back to doing my podcast. And again, I would get to 5 episodes, something would happen in my marriage, and I'm done. I'm toast. I can't do it because I can't focus because I'm emotionally drained. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Kids, everything is going on. And so I couldn't do it. And I'll get more into my story of where I am and all that right now. But this tug of war. So I've heard people say if you have a dream and you can't shake it, like you wake up with it, you go to bed with it, then this is something that you're supposed to be doing. And for the life of me, I cannot shake this YouTube channel, the podcast. I can't shake it. I don't care what's going on. It all comes back to this. And I didn't understand it. And I am hard-headed. I'm very hard-headed. My dad used to tell me, me and my siblings, that he was like, your head is hard as a brick. It is. Stubborn as a mule, hard as a brick. I heard a celebrity say that she learned by tribulation, not by revelation. So that I feel like that's me. Literally, there has been a tug of war between me and God with starting this podcast. And here's the thing, starting this YouTube channel / podcast / whatever this is, okay? Here's the thing. I actually got past how I thought I was going to sound to other people. Like this wasn't about anybody else. This was about me. It wasn't about, well, if I get on, what are people going to think about how I sound? What are people going to think about how I look? I don't really care about that. That's not what it was. It was more or less like, you want me to do what? You want me to say what? Like, you want me to record a video? Wait a minute. What? So seriously. So here we are, right? And so I wasn't thinking about how I was going to sound to other people. It was more or less how I was going to sound to me, like me being comfortable. But then I also had to realize, and I've had people tell me this because I've vented my frustration. They're like, and I've even said this to people, like, your obedience is not contingent on how you feel. Like, God doesn't care about how you feel about what he told you to do. Like, he wants you to do it. He wants you to be obedient to what he said. And I remember my cousin telling me, he doesn't have to have a committee meeting with you when he tells you to do. He doesn't have to pull you to the side and be like, hey, so what you think about this? No, that's not how he works. He's a good father. That's not how he works. When your daddy tells you to go and wash the dishes, and you trust him and you love him and you respect him, you go wash those dishes. There's no question. You don't be like, you want me to do what? You want me to go wash the dishes? I ain't going there to wash them dishes. That's how I've been treating God, literally. You want me to wash dishes? I ain't washing no dishes, Lord. Now, you want me to sweep the floor? Now, I can sweep the floor all day. But wash the dishes? That's not my thing. That's literally what I've been doing. So, I am on here because I'm being obedient to what he told me to do. I'm not fighting anymore. And then at the end of the day, my fight was so frivolous. There was no reason for me to even be fighting, really. Because when I think of the things that he has told me to do, because he ain't asking you to do nothing. The things that he's told me to do, and I've done those things. This, although different, I still have to trust him. You know what I mean? I trust him with other things. This was just something different. I was just like, okay. I mean, when I tell you I struggle, your girl was struggling hard, like yesterday. Okay, like last week. This was not, I was struggling and it was 3 years ago. No, this was yesterday. I was struggling real hard. And so it's crazy when you are an encourager. It's so easy to encourage everybody else to reach for the stars, to trust God, to do all the things. Because why? Because we see it in the people that we're encouraging, right? But then we look at us and be like, girl. So it wasn't even, a lot of people say, well, your haters this, your haters that. I don't even think I got no haters, because I know I am my greatest hater. I am my greatest hater. I am my greatest. I don't need nobody to talk negative to me, because I've done it enough to myself. I don't need nobody to hate on me because I've done it enough to myself. Hopefully that makes sense for somebody. Nobody has ever told me that I couldn't do anything. There was nobody that ever said, oh, you can't do that, you dumb, or who you think you are. Nobody has ever told that to me. I have told that to me. I have allowed also not only my own negative self-talk, I have allowed the words of the enemy, the devil, to speak to me negatively. And I believed it. And it just kept perpetuating. I kept doing it. You know what I'm saying? And when you believe the lie, you empower it. So literally, there was nobody that ever told me that I couldn't do anything. It was me. Oh, ye of little faith. It was me the whole time. And I have friends and sisters. They're like, girl, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't. Like, literally. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't understand. God wants me to do this thing. And they're like, Sarita. And I'm like, I know. It's just, I can't even, I hope I'm explaining this well. And I hope that what I'm saying is helping, because I know I am not the only one that is out here in the world and God has told you to do a thing, whatever it is, and you're like, I ain't washing them dishes. Nah, get somebody else to do it. I don't stick my hand in dishwater. Now, I will sweep the floor. I even take out the trash. But wash the dish? Nah, I ain't doing that. And so this the attitude that I have been having with God. And I know I'm not the only one. You know why? Because I'm human. And I know it's some other people out there, there's some other sisters out there that's just as human as I am. It's like, oh, no, miss me on that guy. Go get somebody else. I don't want to do that. Now, I ain't never tell him go get somebody else to do it. But in so many ways I did, because I was like, But I would like to say, I would like to submit to you that I'm here. And I really want to be obedient to whatever it is he's saying. And the crazy thing is, I've always said that. I've always said, I want to be obedient to everything that, God is calling me to do. Everything he wants me to do, I want to be obedient to it. And then I go into prayer and I get instructions to do some things. And I'm just going to use this for example. And then I go into analysis paralysis. I have watched every YouTube video. Well, not every, because it's a lot, but a lot of YouTube. I have notebooks. If I showed you my notebooks, y'all be like, girl, what's wrong with you? When I tell you, I have notebooks on top of notebooks, on top of notebooks, on top of notebooks, on top of notebooks. Okay? Do you hear me? On top of notebooks of what to do, what not to do. Just everything. How to start the YouTube channel. What products you need. What cameras you need. What lighting you need. Let me tell you, if I turn this camera around and y'all see my lights, because I remember the day that I was like, okay, well, I don't have the right lights. I went online, found the lights, got them, put them up. Now I don't have no excuse. I got a whole camera that my ex-husband bought me some years ago. It's a Canon. And at that time, it was the top notch, whatever Canon TFJH, whatever. The letters is probably wrong. But it was a Canon Rebel. Top notch. I got all the lenses. So technically, I could be recording from my camera. I got everything I needed to get. So there was no excuse. There is no excuse. And even when you watch the YouTube videos, they tell you, oh, you could just use your phone. So here I am. I'm like, well, I don't have any lights. So then I order some ring lights. Well, I need more light. Well, I got my phone, but I need a phone stand. Well, I need to watch some more videos because, I got to make sure that I'm doing everything that I need to make sure that it look right. Analysis paralysis. I will admit, hello, my name is Sarita, and I'm an information junkie. I'll admit it. When I tell you I got notebooks on top of notebooks on top of notebooks, and one of the things that I did at the beginning of this year in 2025, people sometimes wait to spring clean. Not me. January 1st, which somebody was like, You don't need to be washing no clothes, and you don't need to be doing that because you'll wash people out of your life. And I was like, girl, I need to, if that's the case, then let me go put on 10 loads. Let me go on and wash them on now. I'm just kidding. I don't have 10 people to wash out of my life. I was joking. But my friend was like, you don't need to be doing anything on the first day of January. By then, I had stayed up all night and pulled out old papers, pulled out old stuff, old notebooks. I'm like, this stuff needs to go in the trash. If I haven't looked at this notebook in the last year, it needs to go in the trash because I'm just not going to be a hoarder. I am getting to the age where less is more. And so I don't need all that. So I literally went through, I had like a box in my room and it had papers and old mail. I threw all that stuff in the trash because I don't need it and it's a waste. But I said all that to say, I have notebooks on top of notebooks on top of notebooks. And the good thing about the notebooks that I have is I often journal, or often whenever I get a download after coming from prayer, I would write down whatever I heard the Lord speak to me. So I go back in my journals and I'm like, oh my God, he told me that 3 years ago, or oh my God, wow. So like, even though it was a tug of war for me, and I'm finally, well, this is my second YouTube video, but I'm finally showing up, it lets me know that he's been speaking to me this whole entire time about like different gifts and different things that he wants me to do. And it shows me that he's relentless. He's relentless. I believe that I got the name of the podcast, which I'm not going to say it yet. But anyway, I believe I got the name of the podcast like in 2018. I remember writing everything down in one of my notebooks that I have. It may be like a spiral or something that I was using as a journal. All of the information is in there. And so I have come through a lot of changes and transformations and all that, which I do believe is going to make the podcast very rich with wisdom, rich with laughter, rich with everything, like everything. My friends and we're crazy. And I don't mean crazy like crazy, and no offense to people that are actually like got issues, but I'm saying like we're hilarious, we're churchy, we're hilarious, we have a good time. And so I really feel like now is the perfect time. Now is the perfect time for me to do it. And it's like, if you ever heard the story about the prodigal son who asked his dad for the money, his dad gave him his inheritance. He left and he was riotously living. He was doing all the things he wanted to do, found himself in a pig pen and was like, you know what? The servants at my father's house eat better than this. I'm going home. So it's like in this tug of war, as I've been saying that I've been going through with God, literally it's like, he's like, oh, she gonna get tired. It's like she gonna get tired. Like, I'm not gonna give up on what I told her to do. Like, my word is my word, and I'm not going to, you're gonna do what I said, or you're gonna be miserable. And so that, I don't know if anybody else has ever experienced that. So if you have, please leave it in the comments. But being disobedient there is no peace. I don't care what you try to do to make it seem like you have peace. There is this internal void. Literally, there is an internal void, because when you know that God has called you to do a thing, you have an assignment to do, and you don't do that assignment, that there is a space inside your soul. You feel it. And I thought I was crazy because I was feeling something and I didn't know what I was feeling. Well, girl, you was being disobedience is what you was feeling. Because you wasn't doing, you were so busy arguing and going back and forth with God about what it is he wanted you to do and how you gonna sound and all of this, and not how I'm gonna sound to people, but just to myself. Like, I don't know what, it was just so much going on in my head. I mean, I told my friend one time, we overthink so much that we overthink ourselves straight into disobedience. I mean, and I'm saying that because I know that for myself. And I know that I'm not the only one. Completely overthink myself out of doing what it is God told me. I ain't even started. And I ain't gonna be able to do it because what about this and what about that? Not about the people that's gonna hear it, but what about me? What about me? So hope this is making sense. But I really feel like now is the perfect time. God, and as I come back on here, because I will be back. Okay. As I come back on here, you will learn like more about my story, more about where I am, more about what happened, how I got here, you know what I'm saying? It has been a journey, to say that. I mean, I'm happy that I am in my right mind. Old folks used to say, clothed in my right mind with the activities of my limbs. I'm happy. Really, I am. I'm really happy that God is relentless. And that song, oh, the overwhelming, never ending, reckless love of God, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I don't deserve it. I didn't earn it. Still, you give yourself away. Like, he wants me to do what he has assigned me to do so bad that he gives me no peace about it. And I appreciate that. Because at the moment he takes it away, then it's like he done moved on. The moment he takes that away from me, like that conviction of I'm not doing what he told me to do, child, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel that. And I have a story to tell y'all. Oh my goodness. I can't even tell you right now, but I have a story to tell, and I'll come back and tell it. But I at least needed to come on here and just say, like, if you're out there and you have within your spirit, that God has called you to, he's knocking, and he gave you an assignment or assignments to do. And you like, oh God, I don't know. Oh, please go on and be obedient. Please. Just go ahead and do it. Whatever instruction he's giving you to do, just go ahead and do it. And remember, if he give you everything, if he tell you everything, it's not faith. Sarita, if he tells you everything, it's not faith. And it was so funny. My baby sister and I used to have these conversations all the time. And I used to tell her, like, I need A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And she's like, me too. And I need the map and I need everything. But that's not faith. Faith is God gives you A, all right? And then he'll give you F. And then he'll circle back and give you B, C, D, and E. Like, that's just what he do. And we have to be okay with that, because that's how he rolled. And if we're his children and we love him and we fear him, we're going to do what he said do. And he's not going to give us all the instructions up front. That's not faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So if we walk by faith and not by sight, then I can't expect to see the whole path. I just got to know that if he's leading me, he's taking me down the right. I'm going right. Because everything he does is good. And he's not going to steer me down the wrong way. I know that. But for some reason, my brain in this right here, that flush, my flesh is like, girl, we ain't doing that. We're not doing that. But we doing that. Whether we want to or not, it don't even matter. We going to do it scared, shaking, afraid, or whatever. It don't matter. We're going to do it. Because my daddy says so. So I just wanted to encourage you, my sister, that's watching this. If you know, I'm going to say it again, because I know sometimes we hear stuff that go in one ear and right out the other. If you know deep down in your shanana, as Willie Moore Jr. would say, that God has given you an assignment or assignments to do something for him, it is an invitation. He is inviting you in to partner with him to do something for him, for his glory. It's all for his glory. It really ain't about you. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's really all about him, and he's going to get the glory out of it, and you're going to be better for it, because obedience is actually a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And I haven't always been, well, maybe I have a little bit disobedient. Not always, not in everything. In some things, yes, but not in everything. Not in everything. I have been disobedient in some areas, but I have decided to follow Jesus and to be obedient to the assignments that are laid before me. And if you haven't noticed, the world is burning. A lot of things are going on in the world. Everything is things are happening. And ever since I was a little girl, I grew up in church, Kojic baby. And Jesus has been coming back since I was 2, 3. But I'm older now. I know he coming back. Like, yeah, for sure. I believe it. We heard it all the time when we were young. If you grew up in church, you heard all the time, Jesus come back, and he is. I just feel like it's closer now. Like, it did? Yeah, I don't know. And we don't know when he coming, but I know he coming. You read your Bible, you know, signs of the time. Stuff is happening. So it's important to go ahead and be obedient to do whatever it is he said to do. Go on, because you're not going to have no peace. I don't care how much you drink it away. I don't care how much you mushroom it away. I don't care how much you weed it away, or whatever you doing, sexing, shopping, eating, whatever you doing. That gut feeling that you have that you are not walking in the assignment that he called for you to do, it's not going to go away. You're not going to be able to shake it. That's whether he called you to sing, whether he called you to write a book, whether he called you to be a teacher, a preacher, whether he called you to start a Bible study class, whether he called you to start a podcast, whatever the case may be. Whatever it is, the assignment is. You know you heard from him, and you know what he said, and you're struggling. You're struggling, just like I was. Like, God, not me. I can't do that. So here's what I also know. He's not going to ask you to do, he's not going to tell you to do something that he don't think you can do. He's going to give you the grace to do it. He's going to give you the grace to do it, sis. You got this, okay? I'm encouraging you because I had to encourage me. I had to take all the encouragement that I was giving everybody else, and I had to put that on my shoulders. But like, look, you can do this, and we about to do this. Period. Anyway, sorry. But you can do this. You absolutely can. He gave it to you to do because he knows you can do it. So I just wanted to say that. I want to say I love you. I want to say I will be back with another story time / podcast / we out here in these Christian obedient streets doing the things that he said to do. Okay. So you have a super magnificent, wonderful day. Go be great. Love you. Bye.